for the light so you can see it. There you go. No big deal. Can you see me? There we are. Can you see my eye sockets? You can see me. Don't get creeped out. It's much brighter in here than the image would suggest. Just had the strangest experience. Now I've got this really weird problem when it comes to playing video games, you know. I just spent the last about 3 or 4 hours staring at my computer screen, playing an 8x8 version of 2048. Okay, 2048. You know, you push left, up, and down, and sometimes left, right, and down, and occasionally up, in order to accumulate the highest valued tile. Well, I just did that for 3 hours. And just stared at the screen. Just went do 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 do. Or just changing, just tilting the little box, tilting the box. I did it for a little bit of time. There's just always some other little minor detail that I can focus on. It's just from detail to detail. Just one small crisis after another. And it's so mindless. I want to say I kind of like hallucinated, but I didn't hallucinate. I just it has a way of like stimulating thoughts that would not be otherwise stirred up. I thought about a lot of different things. I always think about different things when I do stuff. I've got my mind that has a tendency to go off the rails. Like, um, it's hard to keep it on track. Sometimes it goes interesting places. I don't know what that means I should be. I feel like that means I should be something. I feel like that lends itself to a certain station in life, but I don't know what. I thought about how back when I was at Kentucky State, um, there were a lot of ideas I had while I was at Kentucky State. A lot of them that I'm rediscovering now. when I was at Kentucky State, I remember I know it sounds cringy to say, but like the idea was is that I was trying to like haze myself or something. And tried to take cold showers just for a week, just a week, just take cold showers, abstain from luxuries and pleasures. I know that's not the same thing, but I just keep thinking about this guy. Um, I was at lunch. I was eating dinner tonight, right? I'm sitting at this table, and some guy he comes up and sits diagonal across from me. So it's like like I was facing that way. All right, I was facing that way. He sits diagonal across from me, and I was facing that way, and he's kind of looking at me, not really, and I'm trying not to look at him, but he's looking at me. So I look at him and try to see if he's making eye contact, and then he looks at me and he looks at me. He's like expecting me to say something, but anyway, he keeps looking at me, like expecting me to look at him, and I keep looking at him, expecting him to look at me, and he's like, did somebody put something in my food? Or he's like, I say, no, you keep like trying to look at me. And he said, I was like staring at him, and I said, you were sort of looking at me, and I was trying to make sure that you like didn't have anything to say to me. And he's like, no, you were staring at me. He's like, yeah, I know, but you were. He's like, yeah, I know, but you were staring at me. He takes his earbud out of his ear, which was like blaring at full volume, and he says, yeah, I heard you. He said, did you hear what I said? He says, yeah, I heard you, and you were staring at me. And I just looked at him. I said, no, I wasn't. Okay. I was like, no, I wasn't. And we managed not to look at each other. Neither of us moved. I kind of wanted to move, but I didn't. Anyway, I'm just trying to understand like what that guy's. Trying to understand that guy. Trying to imagine what sort of life he lives. Anyway, yeah, like yeah, tonight and at the gym, just for some reason, I generally feel like I was at the gym and I was looking around for my ID. I left my ID up at the gym. I was looking around for it. People were laughing at me. I said, you know, these people, these girls, there were these two girls on this machine that I was using not 5 minutes prior. I said, excuse me, I'm looking for my ID. So I go look for my ID and you know I don't find it and I walk away and they start laughing at me. Like, I don't get it. And I go over to the squat rack. You know, there's these other people at the squat rack, and I go over and I look for my ID and they're like, it was this guy and this girl. And I start looking around the squat rack and he's like, can I help you? For some reason I don't feel like people are very friendly around here, which is it was this girl I've been texting. I'm not trying to seek her favor. I just want to establish a rapport from her so that she would be willing to give me a female perspective on some topics and issues. There's a few reasons. One, because she seems nice, and I want to help her. I think a friendship with a girl like this can be satisfying, even if it is even if it is forced in a way. But anyway, I want to tell her that she reminds me of this other girl. I want to send her this Instagram post. That's sort of, yeah. This other girl, she went to my high school. She's a pretty girl, but I really think I really think she's like living out the indie girl fantasy where, maybe she tweaks her photos a little bit to get effect, but I mean the photos are pretty convincing. I don't know how to describe it. Basically, like the world for her is just like a big playground that she gets to explore and have fun in and take pictures of herself in. Let me check on that page. Actually, let me check on it. Whoa! Where's my telephone? I'm just gonna switch the battery out. This other battery. This is my old. This is the phone of somebody we don't talk to anymore. So it's got an extra battery. Charge it up sometimes. This girl, her life just looks like a movie. It looks like it looks like one of those indie chick flicks. There's like this photographer guy that she occasionally mentions. I remember her having a post with this guy's voice. He was saying it's just really silly, kind of fake deep stuff. It was it was very larpy. No, that's wrong to say. It wasn't very larpy. Okay, it wasn't. I would say that was like LARPing. Because there was an element of action without knowing why. Sort of, I mean, because it was so obviously vapid that what this person was saying. Like, it doesn't matter what it was that this person was saying. IMO. It doesn't matter what this person's actual words were. She just wants it to be the case that she's with a guy who's an artist, and sometimes talks about, sometimes waxes on about this silly stuff, this fake deep stuff, because it doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what he says, because she's not going to understand it anyway. She just wants to live the lifestyle. That's why I consider it to be very LARPy. What is this post? Of course I sound like a hateful and jealous person. Bitter. I sound jealous. I sound like I'm saying, hey, how come that's not me? I sound like the fox who can't get the grapes. But I'm it's very plain dress up, substance to it. This has to relate to Okay. It should be working right now. Lights on. Charge cord is plugged in. What? Charge. Alright, why is this big boy not charging? That's alright, we're charging. Alright, we're charging. It's like I never wanted to listen to anything I learned in school because the school always seemed really lame. School's got a lame aesthetic. There's a lot they taught that I guess was cool, but I didn't want to believe it because I didn't like the source it was coming from. It goes back to that I'm taking this semester. There's a required book we had to buy. And then halfway, and now, I'm reading this textbook. I've got all these questions. What is writing? What's the purpose of writing? What writing worthwhile? Because I've got these questions, and I look in the textbook that I've been ignoring all semester, and the answers are all there. So the textbook because the aesthetic was bad. Now I feel discrediting, the pathos, and the ethos. I feel editing the ethos now. What else was I going to talk about? Yeah, this girl. I just want to. I sent her a message today. I don't exactly breach the topic, but I think that I want her response to the idea that women live in a world where they get everything for free because there's billions of men in the world who will just give them stuff, especially if they're pretty. Just give them stuff for free because they want to be liked. And since they're women, they can't do any work. So while they're growing up, they're very spoiled.
they know that because they're female, they can get away with things. Because they're female, they because this goes back to this other conversation I was having with the same person. I asked her. She told me that she always feels turned off with to interactions. She always feels turned off to interactions when they feel forced. She says she wants that natural connection with people. She says she doesn't want the connection to feel forced. And these are her exact words. She says, "I want it to just happen. All right, I want it to just happen. All right, happen. I'm triggered. Just happen. Things happen because men give them to you." I want it to just happen, quote unquote, just happen. So that's the best case scenario for quote just happen unquote. Not the best scenario, not the best case scenario. That's I'm sorry. The most generous interpretation of just happen unquote. The least generous interpretation of just happen, just quote quote just happen unquote, is that it's it's the big gun that I do. Loath to wield because it's not not generous. It's not a very polite way to go about having, but it's in the back of my mind. Just happen, quote unquote, just happen. It's just a way of transporting that culpability, that burden of the agency. Because like she as the woman, she said she not only has the right but has the dismiss and just okay, some sort of princess, some sort of like we're some sort of man, some sort of servant says get out of. She says get out of here. She says disappear. Like we're some sort of bad dream. She can do this, okay? She has this power to do. She has the power to do this at any time, okay? She has and the key word there, power. She has the power. She has the agency. It's something she can do actively. It's an active, and not doing so is also active. Okay, just happen, quote unquote. That's not what that means. Just happen. No, you don't. It doesn't just happen. That's just happen is a word that she uses for. She said, I want it. I want the connection to just happen. What that means is I want to just be attracted to it. I want to just be attracted to it. So I don't want to. I don't want this situation to have anything to do with my decision at all. It's just something that happens. It's just which is fine, I guess, if you don't want women to have agency. But let's pretend for a second that they do. Just happen. What does that mean? I don't remember. What does just happen mean? How long have we been on here? What's just happened? I want it to just happen. That's not the way things work. Things don't just happen, okay? Cities don't just happen. They're not naturally occurring constructs. Nothing just happens. Things are done for you. Things don't just happen. People don't approach you out of consequence. They don't initiate. It's not something that just happens. Okay, this of your experience as a female, getting things for free, having things done for you. Just I want it to just happen. I want the connection to just happen. And the only reason that I'm not totally 100%, mostly, alongside my generous nature, of course, the only other reason that I'm not gonna go along with the least generous interpretation is because I say the same thing. I say the same thing. I say something just happens. I say writing just happens. I am not capable. I don't. I have, over the past couple months demonstrated that I take severe issue with writing on demand. Writing on demand. It's not something that I can force. She says the parallel between my writing and her connection with people. This doesn't work if it's forced. It doesn't work once you figure this out. I satisfied with this writing hang up that I have because I find it to be very feminine. I should be able to control the writing that I produce. It's not something that just happens. Why is the writing something that just happens? Writing, it's like, for me, it's like sneezing. You can't, like, induce a sneeze, okay? Why would you? Why would you? It's just that. It's just something that you need to do when you need to do it. You don't induce vomiting. You can't. I mean, you can. You can. You can. Actually, you can. You can induce vomiting. You can induce sneezing. You can induce lots of things. You can say, this is something I'm going to do right now, but there's no guarantee that it will be good. Sneezing is it's a function of the human body. It has, it's good. It's a prevents things from crawling up your nose and laying eggs in it. Prevents lots of things. Sneezing is good, okay? Vomiting, it prevents it's a big reset button for your stomach in case you eat something that's less than healthy. If you eat something that's not very good for you, it's not going to kill you if you vomit, okay? But if you induce it, then that's just effort for nothing. Effort for nothing. If you force it to happen, then that's effort for nothing because nothing, no real concern is addressed. I read that I read that for my class there's a PDF called "Looking for Trouble" by it's part of a textbook. It's something about Savini. Look it up. Savini, Savini. Savini, looking for trouble. It's about process of problematization. They say you should. They say in order to motivate yourself to write, you should think of something wrong with a situation. You should find a problem with something. You should find a problem with it. There's always bad stuff going around. There's always like problems to be solved. There's problems with everything. You say you have to look for the problem. You have to notice the problem. You have to notice the problem if you're going to start writing. I don't, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that sort of thinking. Lots of things. There's not necessarily anything wrong with it. And I'm not going to claim that there is for the purpose of writing a paper, and I'm not going to claim that there is for it's really does have to be very natural. I think it has to be very. If it's going to be authentic, which I guess is what she wants, authentic. Like, I do crave authenticity, as I said before. Oh boy, I'm gonna kill myself. Oh, I'm gonna kill myself. I mean, yeah, you can need to write something, just like you can stick your finger down your throat if you really need to vomit. Well, why? Doesn't make it worth doing, okay? I feel as though, yeah, I think it's true. I think that the two situations are comparable. Just happens is either valid or it is a concept. Just happens. You know, this guy I was talking, this guy that I was trying dinner, right? He seemed like a very down to earth guy. Seemed like he lives in real life. You know, I'm comparing myself to this guy. I feel like I don't live in real life. I feel like I live somewhere else. I don't feel very grounded. I feel like I'm a leaf in the wind. He lives in real life. I live on the internet. I live on Twitter. I get all my information from Twitter. I get, you know, I've bought products from people that I follow on Twitter. I've more or less founded like my entire belief system and system of philosophy. Belief system, that's a stretch. I don't think we're there yet. But I founded all of that off of what I read on Twitter. And to a lesser extent 4chan. Really do. I feel like I really do live there. And at first I thought, you know, I need to live here instead. And I thought of all the, you know, people wearing Simply Southern vineyard vines. I feel like those people are the ones who are really authentically here. And I don't want to be like that. I feel like I have to carve out my own space. Be where you are, I guess. I guess that's a meaning. Exist where you are. You know, think about where your frame of mind has to be at rest where you are. I'm in my dorm room. but my mind is not here. My mind is not focused on my mind's not totally focused on issues at hand. Yeah, I live on Twitter, but that's not the thought I was having. It's crazy. I was just I was just on 2048, just tacking away on the letters. No noise was playing or anything. No music or anything. Music videos or no podcasts or interviews or nothing. I'm just hacking away on the arrow key, all kinds of stuff. I had thought about that interview. I was thinking about that interview that Sam Hyde, Joe Burns. At the end of the interview, he said, he's still animist right now. That's more or less what he said. I was just thinking about that. I really felt it viscerally. I really felt it in my. I felt the insult in my. I felt it coming from a place of really calling someone out on how we are, really being in the moment. I don't, I've never felt that way before. And I feel like I don't. I won't say I never felt that. That's that's an exaggeration. I sensation is totally foreign to me. It's something, or an authentic. Your mind goes to weird places. You said, now why don't I think there was another. Yeah, I remember. I kind of flashback to a time when I was like 6, right? Probably younger than that. No, yeah, I was definitely younger than that before I started elementary school. in at preschool. Really deep community's gotta be I was always so disappointed.